My boyfriend lied about my ring and now I can't trust him. For Christmas, my boyfriend of 3 years bought me a gorgeous ring, not an engagement ring. He told me in great detail about how he purchased the loose diamonds from a local jeweler, recommended to him by a friend that gets them in Amsterdam, and had it custom made for me in platinum. I genuinely loved the ring, but I thought the diamonds were suspiciously large and odd that it was stamped 925, which represents sterling silver when he told me it was mounted in platinum. I did a little research and found out that it was a $1,200 moissanite ring in platinum over sterling, which I own a few pieces and he knows I love. He has done a lot of research on jewelry, so I'm certain he was not tricked. I am not a materialistic person at all, and he could have gotten me a ring from Walmart and I would have loved it because I attach sentimental value to gifts. He knows that. My problem is that if he would lie about something so trivial, what else would he lie to me about? I honestly can't even wear the ring because every time I look at it, I think about how he broke my trust and it makes me want to cry. Part of me feels like I shouldn't even bring it up since the ring still costs over $1,000, but I'm still just heartbroken since I always felt like he was a trustworthy person. Would you even bring it up? If so, how should I talk to him about this without sounding like a spoiled brat? Am I wrong for refusing to let my sister have my wedding dress? I, female 26, was supposed to get married to my fiance, 30 male, on August 17, but he passed away suddenly in a car accident a month before. It was so devastating and pain is pretty much raw for me. I moved back with my parents to get familiarity and support. My parents have been so helpful, but my twin sister and I aren't so close. She's engaged and getting married before the end of this year. She keeps ranting about her future in-laws expecting her to pay so much money for the venue and invite many guests. She said her fiance can't afford much, and last week, she and my mom asked if she could have my wedding dress to wear at her wedding. I was shocked by her request, but didn't react intensely. I just politely declined. Why would you want to wear your sister's wedding dress? I explained to them how this dress has personal attachment and value after they said that the wedding didn't happen anyway, and I didn't get to make memories in it, which was hard to hear. An argument ensued and my sister called me selfish and unsupportive, and my mom sided with her and said I was wrong and that this dress will only stay hanging in the closet if I don't do something with it since my fiance isn't coming back and I refuse to move on even though it hasn't been that long. Dad is on my side, but I started feeling like maybe I'm not being helpful seeing my sister struggling and needing help. Mom said this might make or break our relationship for the years to come, especially when I don't have many people around me after this loss. Am I the asshole for refusing to let her have it? By the way, the dress cost me $2,200 that I'd save up on my own. They claim I'm refusing because of its price and even went as far as to say that I must be planning on selling it or expect them to pay for it. Live within your means. Why are you having a wedding that you cannot afford? Go to Macy's, homegirl. Go to Shein. Go online. Go to Fashion Nova. Get a wedding dress you can afford. That is not her problem. I never understand people like this.
Am I wrong for telling my sister-in-law no one cares that she's pregnant? My cousin, 33 female, who I'll call Mary, lost her husband, 32 male, and 2 of her 3 children, 3 female and 9-month-old male, in a car accident last week. Her and her daughter, 5, are as you would expect, and it's just heartbreaking. Well, today was the funeral, and my brother's wife announced her pregnancy the second they arrived at our house this morning, and we were like, okay, congratulations, but please keep it on the down low for today. Well, when we arrived at the church, she kept making gagging sounds and rubbing her stomach saying, I as a mom can't imagine what she's going through. They have no kids, so people would look at her and she'd tell them she was pregnant. Afterwards, at my aunt's house, my sister-in-law kept making everything about her. Like someone was in the bathroom and my sister-in-law would loudly say, pregnant lady needs to pee. She literally told my cousin to give her her seat so the lady with the baby could rest her feet. I ignored her until she came to Mary, stuck out her flat belly and said, me and Isaac just found out I was pregnant and honestly, we are beside ourselves. It could happen to us. Mary broke down crying. I snapped. Who says that to a woman who just literally lost 2 babies? I said loudly to my sister-in-law, no one gives an F you're pregnant. Look around. It's not just 1 but 2 babies' funerals, not to mention the love of Mary's life. Like, I knew you were an attention seeker, but for fuck's sake, you took the test 4 days ago. Just leave. Good for you. She did leave in tears and my brother called me a fat bitter bitch. Oh, what the fuck? I've gotten phone calls from my brother and my sister-in-law's family calling me the world of names because I made a pregnant woman cry. Mary and my aunt thank me, but if I'm being honest, I feel bad about causing a scene. So please put me in my place if I'm wrong. Her husband, your brother should have pulled her aside and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Shut the fuck up. But if he don't do it, you can do it. So, little update. I found out this morning that my brother and my sister-in-law harassed my cousin with phone calls for her to talk to me about yesterday. My aunt gave both of them an earful and then made my cousin turn off her phone. My brother and my sister-in-law were at my parents' house trying to get their side in when I arrived. They both came at me screaming and yelling about my sister-in-law's feelings and she could miscarry from the stress I caused her. Sister-in-law said if I didn't lose my attitude and apologize, I'd never be in their child's life. Brother, step up. Step up, brother. I told her I didn't care, and if she was going to use the kid as a weapon, I didn't want to be in their life anyway. Things got heated, and my father ended up kicking out my brother and my sister-in-law. So yeah, all this drama at a time, we should be there for one another.
Am I wrong for not telling a guy what I do for work and letting him pay for my drinks during the whole evening? My friend Grace invited me to a board game bar to play and have drinks with her boyfriend, and one of their friends, Nick. We went to get drinks in pairs, Grace going with her boyfriend. Meanwhile, Nick and I stayed at the table and vice versa. So Nick and I had plenty of time to talk, just the two of us. Nick started the night by telling us about his recent career change. He decided to quit his previous job, go to a coding bootcamp, and he got a job as a developer 1 or 2 months ago. He was very proud of himself and his new salary and told me this multiple times. He never asked me what I do for work, but talked about his new job quite a lot, occasionally saying, "Sorry, you don't understand that, haha." During the entire evening, I never told him I have been working as a software engineer for the past 4 years because he never asked, and honestly, I found it a bit entertaining. When it came to the drinks, he invited me to every single one. Don't worry about it, it's not a problem with my developer salary. Cringe. I told him multiple times he doesn't have to pay for me, but he insisted. At the end of the night, when we were saying our goodbyes, he took out his phone to send me a friend request on Facebook. My job is listed in my profile, so that was when he realized that I'm a software engineer. He asked me if it's true that I'm a software engineer, and I answered yes. He asked me why I didn't tell him, and why did I let him believe that I was a cashier like Grace used to be. I never implied that. And why did I let him pay for everything when I probably earned more than him? I told him that he never once asked, and it was his fault, he assumed. He could have simply asked me about my job, but he only wanted to brag about his. But if he wants me to, I can pay him back for the drinks. He was angry and said that I made a fool out of him. I think he did that, not me. But now Grace and her boyfriend are on his side too, saying that it would have cost me nothing to tell him early in the evening, and I only kept it for myself for my own entertainment. Well, I did find it entertaining, but I don't really feel like I did anything wrong. So, am I the asshole? Am I wrong for refusing to get my son a car because of his weight? I have 3 kids, 16 female, 19 male, and 24 male. I've raised them to be fit and healthy, but sadly my 17-year-old son gained a lot of weight after leaving secondary school with bad grades, and he suggested to keep a job. He is not hugely overweight, but it is upsetting to me as I was always careful with their food and taught them to make healthy choices. I bought my 24-year-old a car for his 20th birthday, and I promised to do the same for my 19-year-old, but only if he was able to lose weight and keep a job. He claimed these conditions were unfair because his brother didn't have to do anything for the car, but he kept himself fit and moved out of my house at 18, so he was not a financial drain on me at the time. He accepted the conditions in the end. Did you just call your kid a financial drain? The fact that you called your kid a financial drain says as much as I need to know about yourself as a parent. The reason I added a weight loss requirement for the car is just for extra motivation for him. He's 5'11" and 210 pounds. I know it's not morbidly obese, but it is awful seeing him gain all this weight when he used to be so skinny. He hates his appearance and wants a girlfriend, but he is not confident. Maybe this is not PC these days, but I don't believe in body positivity, and I think if you're overweight, you need to lose weight as soon as possible. I'm worried he will develop a food addiction and get even bigger. The car will make him walk less and make fast food even more accessible, and that is the last thing he needs. Anyway, this was 6 months ago, and his birthday is next month. The attempts to lose weight don't last long, and I think he's down 10 pounds at most. However, he has managed to get and keep a job for the last 3 months, which is great, but it's still not very long, and he's still lazy, playing video games and eating too much. I told him last night I wasn't going to get him the car for his birthday, but he could maybe have the car in another 6 months if he managed to put serious effort into fixing his weight problem and being more healthy, and managed to keep the job. He was very upset with me and locked himself in his room. He feels that his brother is the favorite and he is treated unfairly. This is not true. Unfortunately, his brother has had a drug problem and I've had to bail him out of situations and sent him to rehab twice. This is very expensive, but rehab was a life or death thing. A car isn't. He said that I think being a crackhead is fine, but being fat isn't. But that isn't true at all. I care about both of their health, and being fat will cause serious health problems in the future too. Am I the asshole here? I feel bad for upsetting him, but at this moment, I think a car would do more harm than good. He hasn't stuck to the conditions we agreed and improved his unhealthy lifestyle. I don't know why you think that having a car will encourage him to eat out more. Because we have things like DoorDash, Uber Eats, all that stuff where he has a job, he has money. He'll just, if you really want the food, he'll get it. Car or not, that's not what's going to help him. The car could also motivate him to go hiking, to go to the gym. So look at the positives it could have brought, but you only focus on the negatives.